Right now, I want to welcome to the program from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, Larry Keene is with us. Larry, how are you, sir?
Very good. How are you?
I am excellent. Did you enjoy yourself in Indianapolis? Were you in Indianapolis?
I
didn't have a chance to see you.
Yes, I did enjoy myself. It was
good. It was a good event, wasn't it?
It was a tremendous event. It was great to see such enthusiastic crowds and a lot of activity and very positive signs from the industry's point of view. A lot of ongoing interest in continuing to purchase firearms and ammunition products. So we were really excited.
All right, so we do still have some issues around the country, however, including Jersey City. They've begun, according to the Wall Street Journal, requiring gun companies that supply its police department with weapons to disclose more about their business practices. Everything from how do you dispose of old firearms, whether they make semi-automatic rifles for sale to civilians, according to bid documents viewed by the Wall Street Journal. What's the NSSF's take on this?
Well, we think this is not the first time we have seen municipalities, including cities that sued the industry about a decade or so ago, like Jersey City and others, attempt to politicize the purchasing of law enforcement equipment to advance a gun control agenda. And we think it's deplorable, reprehensible, to put law officer safety at risk in order to score some cheap political points to advance some politicians' career and advance some gun control agenda. Law enforcement ought to be able to purchase the products that meet the needs of their officers, and that should be the only criteria that's involved, and not attempting to use the purchasing of firearms by municipalities or ammunition products by municipalities in order to advance a gun control agenda. And in fact, when this was done or attempted to be done about 14 years ago, a number of companies in the law enforcement market, as well as the National Shooting Sports Foundation, filed a lawsuit against then HUD Secretary Andrew Cuomo, then New York State Attorney General Eliot Spitzer, and a number of other mayors and municipalities that attempted to do the same sort of thing, which was to say, we will not purchase products from companies for our law enforcement agencies unless they agree to this so-called code of conduct, which is very similar to the sorts of questions that Jersey City is asking is, what do you do to, quote-unquote, police the dealers that sell your guns or that have, too many trace requests, and of course they can never tell you, well, what's too many, how is too many, and what are you supposed to do about it as a manufacturer? Are you supposed to follow up on those traces and put that dealer out of business? And what ATF told us consistently was, no, the last thing in the world we want you as manufacturers to do is start following up on trace requests. We want you to just answer them, give us the information, stay out of the way, and let us do our job. And, of course, from the industry's point of view, what's the one and only thing we know when a trace request is made? Law enforcement's on the job. And the last thing in the world we should do is start monkeying around. So, again, we've seen this before. If this takes root and we see a coordinated effort, we will entertain filing another lawsuit. And when we did this back in 2000, the moment we filed the lawsuit, the illegal conduct stopped immediated. And it's illegal because it's an antitrust conspiracy. It's an agreement not to enter into business transactions. And while they may think they have a good purpose behind doing this, it's illegal. It's a violation of antitrust law, and we will not sit idly by.
The Wall Street Journal says so far about 24 law enforcement agencies across 6 states, including Cleveland, Durham, North Carolina, Cook County in Illinois, New Rochelle, New York, and New Haven, Connecticut, have agreed to ask a different set of questions from Jersey City's requesting manufacturer standards in choosing dealers and if they're developing gun safety technologies. Again, very similar to what you described, asking about this code of conduct in the 1990s. It doesn't seem at this point, Larry, as if there's anything concrete that says if you answer a question in what we feel to be the wrong way, you're disqualified. It almost seems like they're just couching this by saying, hey, we're just asking for the information. What we do with it, you know, you don't really need to know.
Well, right, yeah. I've got a bridge to sell you. Of course, they're going if they don't get the answers they think are correct, they think that they're trying to coerce people into answering these questions. And, of course, as the article pointed out, a number of questions that Jersey City's already dropped, like, you know, do you do R&D on authorized user recognition technology? No company is going to answer that sort of question in a public forum. You know, it's just not. You know, that's just R&D. It's confidential business information. It's not the kind of thing you're going to disclose to anybody. So the questions are silly. They reflect an abject ignorance of the subject matter. You know, anybody that knows anything about so-called smart guns knows that they're not available for purchase. They don't exist yet. It's pie in the sky. And it was this administration's Department of Justice about a year ago that put out a report that acknowledged that none of that stuff is safe and reliable and on the market. So to ask those kind of questions is just silly.
All right, well, that does bring me to my next question, which has to do with smart guns, but it seems like you've already kind of answered it, Larry. But I'll go ahead and I'll rephrase it because, you know, look, we've seen over the past week and a half this surge in media interest in smart guns. And the Boston Globe had a piece today that ultimately came down, I think I deciphered, they said these laws like New Jersey's mandating smart gun ownership, it's a bad idea, let the market sort it out, but darn the NRA for being opposed to legislation like the mandate there in New Jersey. You know, what does the NSSF, does the industry have a position on smart gun technology as opposed to a position on mandating quote unquote smart gun ownership?
Our position has been the same since we started arguing with the state of New Jersey about this, 12, 14 years ago. We have always said that we're not opposed to research and development into technology that might be applied to a firearm. What we are adamantly opposed to is mandates, government one-size-fits-all solutions to problems that don't exist, where you're taking away the right of consumers to choose the products that fit their needs. If there is consumer demand for these products and the technology can be developed that it's as safe and as reliable as current products, and there's consumer demand, the market will respond, as it always does when the government doesn't get in the way. What we have seen from a recent survey we did last fall, which was consistent with other market research that's been done by companies in the past, is that there is not significant consumer demand for these products because there's concern about reliability. Law enforcement doesn't want these products because they're concerned about the reliability of them. Will they work when you need them in a time of need? Will the battery fail? Will the RFID tag be interfered with by radio waves from the walkie-talkie? Will the cut on my finger or the glove I'm wearing on my hand prevent the biometrics from working? There are lots and lots of questions about and issues about reliability. So what we oppose is mandates, not the research and development. We have been consistent about this from the very beginning. We don't think the government should be picking winners and losers because, of course, once they pick one, what technology has to be used, and then you really essentially create a government-sponsored monopoly, and it's a one-size-fits-all, and it's not going to work.
Talking with Larry Keane, Vice President and General Counsel of the National Shooting Sports Foundation. And Larry, again, appreciate your time. Hopefully we'll get to see you again in person before long. But
sometime soon.
I know we'll be talking again very soon. Absolutely.
Sure.
How are the Yankees doing this year, by the way?
Last time I checked, they were doing okay. They were doing better than the Red Sox, but I haven't looked recently.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's early.
It's early.
It's early yet. One of these days, Larry, you and I are going to go see a Yankees-Red Sox game.
Absolutely.
That's on my bucket list.
Absolutely. It would be my privilege.
We'll make that happen at some point. Larry Keane, thank you, sir. Always good talking to you.
Good to talk to you.
Larry Keane with the National Shooting Sports Foundation.